Khatib Series in Human Anatomy and Physiology. Chapter 1. Episode 2. Organization of Human Body.
By understanding how our body is organized, we can begin to see how these structures work together to support movement, function, and protection. We will also learn that each part of our body plays a crucial role in maintaining the overall balance and efficiency of the body. Let's continue exploring how all these structures work together. Based on the organization of our skeletal system, our body is also organized into axial and appendicular regions. The first region of our body is the head. The head contains the skull, muscles, hair, and other organs and have important cavities, which are parts of the organs for special senses like the nose, mouth, orbits, and ears. The head is composed of the skull, which is composed of the cranium, which forms the upper part housing the brain and the facial bones. Below the head, we have the neck, made up of the cervical vertebrae, which supports the head and allows for movement and flexibility. Below the neck is the chest, also known as the thoracic region. It houses the heart and lungs, which are protected by the rib cage. Next, we move to the abdomen, which lies just below the chest. This area is often referred to as the abdominal cavity and contains many the body's key digestive organs, including the stomach, liver, intestines, and pancreas. Below the abdomen is the pelvis, made of the pelvic bones. The pelvis houses critical organs for the urinary and reproductive systems, such as the bladder, reproductive organs, and parts of the large intestine. Together with the back, the chest, abdomen, and pelvis form the trunk of the body, a central region that protects vital organs and supports movement and balance. However, the head, neck, and trunk form the axial region of the body, which is the central axis of the body, providing support and protection for our internal organs. Now, let's move on to the limbs. We have the upper limb and the lower limb. The upper limb consists of the arm, which is located between the shoulder and elbow and contains the humerus bone, along with muscles such as the biceps and triceps brachii. Next, we have the forearm, located between the elbow and wrist, which contains two bones, the ulna and radius, as well as many extensor and flexor muscles. Then, we have the hand, which includes the carpals, metacarpals, and phalanges, and works in coordination with the arm and forearm for fine motor skills and strength. Now, let's look at the lower limb. The lower limb starts with the thigh, which contains the femur, the largest bone in the body. In addition to the femur, as we will see in the upcoming videos, several muscles, tendons, and ligaments are involved in the structure of the thigh, such as the quadriceps and hamstrings muscles, and the patellar tendon. Below the thigh, we have the leg, consisting of the tibia and fibula, along with associated muscles, nerves, and tissues, including the calf muscles, gastrocnemius, soleus, and the Achilles tendon. Finally, we have the foot, which includes the tarsals, metatarsals, and phalanges, along with other associated structures. Nonetheless, the upper limbs and lower limbs form the other region of the body, the appendicular region. Notably, all the structures forming these parts of the body regions, including muscles, nerves, organs, blood vessels, etc., will be covered in detail when we are discussing the body system in the coming videos of this series. Now let's talk about the organization of our body. To understand that, we have first to understand the organization of our skeletal system. The skeletal system is the foundation of our body, providing structure, support, and protection. But the skeletal system is more than just bones stacked together. It is primarily formed by bones, but it also includes cartilage, ligaments, and tendons, all working together to as framework to support the body, allow movement, and protect internal vital organs. By organization, the skeletal system highly organized system divided into two main sections. The first division is the axial or central skeleton, and the second is the appendicular or peripheral skeleton. Each section has distinct roles and is made up of specific bones that contribute to our overall health and function. The axial skeleton is the central part of the human skeleton, serving as the core framework that supports and protects critical organs. It consists of 80 bones and is primarily responsible for the body's structure, balance, and protection. The axial skeleton is made up of 3 major parts. The skull protects the brain and houses sensory organs like the eyes and ears. It also forms the face. The vertebral column, composed of vertebrae. It supports the body's weight and protects the spinal cord, enabling flexibility and movement. The rib cage, made up of ribs, and the sternum. It protects the heart, lungs, and other vital organs, while assisting in the breathing process by expanding and contracting. The appendicular skeleton consists of 126 bones and is divided into 2 main parts: the pectoral girdle and the pelvic girdle, along with the limbs. Let's observe the major bones forming the pectoral girdle. These are 2 bones, namely, the clavicle or collarbone and scapula, also known as shoulder blade. The pectoral girdle connects the upper limbs to the axial skeleton. It also allows for a wide range of arm movement and provides support for the shoulder. On the other hand, the bones forming each upper limb include humerus, radius, ulna, and bones forming the carpals, metacarpals and phalanges of the hand. The major function of the upper limb is to enable mobility and dexterity for tasks like grasping and lifting. The lower part of the appendicular skeleton include the pelvic girdle, which consists of 2 hip bones that form the basin-like structure. The pelvis supports the weight of the body, provides stability, and connects the lower limbs to the axial skeleton. Nonetheless, the lower limbs include the femur, patella or kneecap, tibia, and fibula, and bones of the foot including tarsals, metatarsals and phalanges. The lower limb is responsible for bearing the body's weight and enabling movement like walking and running. In our body, we have several major joints that allow for movement and flexibility. A joint is a connection between 2 or more bones in the body that plays a critical role in movement, stability, and flexibility throughout our daily activities. Joints are typically named based on the bones that form them or the type of movement they allow in each joint. In this example, the joint is called tibiofemoral because it forms between tibia and femoral bones. Starting with the upper limb. The shoulder joint, also known as the glenohumeral joint, is formed by the humerus of the arm and the scapula of the shoulder. The elbow joint, or humeroradialar joint, connects the humerus of the upper arm with the ulna and radius of the forearm. Moving down, the wrist joint, or radiocarpal joint, involves the radius of the forearm and the carpal bones of the hand. Now, for the lower limb, the hip joint, also known as the coxal joint, is formed by the femur and the pelvis. The knee joint, or tibiofemoral joint, is formed by the femur and the tibia of the lower leg. Finally, the ankle joint, or talocral joint, connects the tibia and fibula of the leg with the talus bone of the foot. The precise structure and function of joints will be discussed deeply in the video of the anatomy of the skeletal system of this series later. In anatomy, the anatomical position is used as a standard reference posture of the body to ensure accuracy and consistency when describing the body and the locations and relationships of body parts with each others. This position is essential for accurate communication and understanding in the study of anatomy, as it provides a clear description of any region or part of the body at a specific instance. In this position, the body is standing upright or erect. In addition, the head and eyes should be directed straight ahead. Concomitantly, the upper limbs are relaxed at the sides of the body with the palms facing forward and not rotated. The feet are approximately shoulder width apart, with the toes pointing straight forward. In anatomy, we can observe the body from different perspectives to better understand its structure. These views include anterior, which shows the front of the body, posterior, which provides a look at the back of the body, and lateral, which allows us to observe the body from the side. Regardless of the perspective we use, it's important to remember that the body should always be in the anatomical position for accurate reference. This means the body is upright facing forward, with arms at the sides and palms facing forward.